You the Emson smoker, and I'm trying to find the best lighting here in the kitchen. I've got a lower sun on a cloudy day, so hopefully you'll get to see this a little bit better lighting. Um, my husband bought me this little Emson smoker, and it does hot smoke, cold smoke, and I'll run you through a couple of the recipes real quick. It's 1,000 watts, 5 quart capacity. I've got recipe for pork tenderloin, beef roast, whole chicken, chicken pieces, chicken breast, chicken wings, rock Cornish game hen, smoked turkey breast, smoked salmon fillets or steaks, smoked salmon pate, smoked salmon salad, smoked salmon cheese logs, smoked salmon spiral roll-ups, Polish sausage, smoked eggs, smoked baked potatoes, smoked potato salad, potatoes Marie, smoked onions, smoked cheddar cheese, and shrimp risotto. And of course, I did some corn in it. We calculated 10 minutes would be sufficient, and it was just wonderful. It was so juicy and flavorful, and I would definitely do that again. In fact, we bought some more corn to do it. So anyway, this particular product I bought off of Shop HQ, which has now changed its name to Evine. Might be Evine Live. So Suzanne Summers owns that shopping network. But anyway, got a great deal at the time. I don't know why. And I don't know how I happened to stumble across this. I was looking to replace my little pressure cooker. And saw a smoker pressure cooker, and I watched the video and showed it to my husband, and we thought about it. And with my inability to ambulate gracefully in and outdoors with a walker and bringing food items back and forth to barbecue or smoke, I pretty much curtailed doing that activity. And then this unit helped me so much because I can take and all those pieces come apart. I can wash them in the sink. That to me meant everything. Flavor and juiciness and all of that aside, this was what sold me. I could do this. This gained me smart independence. Otherwise, I'm heavily dependent on my husband. He's the legs of this operation. But I'm getting better. But this meant so much to me to be able to do this by myself. And other than him bringing it back and forth from our pantry, it's a little bit unwieldy for me to go get it. He brings it to me. I can set it up. I can just smoke away all day. Now, being it's on a rack system, I cut the pork roast into pieces. I'm not worried about the aesthetics because I'm going to shred this later and add sauce. And it's super juicy, moist. I don't even mind leaving some of the fat, collagen, ligaments, silver on there because I think that lends to the broth later. I use the broth for soups, and it makes it very gelatinous. So I just find this very economical. I find it very rewarding in that the food is delicious, and it's encouraging. I can do this on my own. All right, I'm going to show you how I assemble things and kind of deconstruct it and do a little bit better review on this. I know that it was probably frustrating to watch my esquites tutorial and not be able to really see how this functions. So hopefully this will answer some questions. And I do believe you can get a unit similar to this through, is it Hammacher Schlepper or something like that? Anyway, it was $149. So I'm sorry they don't have this at the great price. I think I got it. It was originally, was it 89, and then I got another coupon, and my payments ended up only being like $18 a month. So it's just so nice to try it, and of course you can send things back if you don't like it, but we have loved it. So onward ho, here we go. Hi, I keep trying different vantage points to show you this Emson smoker, and that doesn't help to stick my finger in front of the lens. Oh boy, I might need more coffee to do this. Anyway, I'd like to do a much better presentation on this. It really bears showcasing. Being a white, I'm not. Okay, forbear with me. I'd like to get through this and really make it worth your while to watch this video. Thank you. This seems to be my best lighting to show this to you. So I'm going to drop this in the sink, and then I can pull things apart for you to show you better. It has a nice locking mechanism. Just swivel and lock. So I'm going to pull this lid off. It comes with the weight and a silicone seal. And I'll show you when I go to wash this later how I take care of all of that. So I'm going to pop that back in. It's easy to do. I do recommend that you locate a good source for your seals and purchase a backup right away, because I was without a seal on my other favorite pressure cooker for over a year till we found a source and could replace it, and boy did I miss it. So I made sure I bought 2 of that, and now I'm kicking myself that I didn't get 2 of these because we use this a lot. And I can tell it's starting to get looser. Okay, now this Emson smoker has what's called a cooking basket. And I went ahead and I assembled it so that you can see if you were to smoke fish or shrimp, there's plenty of shelving. What I love about this is you have options. Now, there's a little trick to this, but once you figure this out, it's awesome. There's a hook here that points down. All of those on that row point down, and then on the outside, these point up. So to load and unload, you tilt it, lift it off the upward hooks, and then away you go. Tilt it, lift it off the upward hooks, and away you go. I have a charbroil unit out there, and I watched a guy do a demo on that, and he had a dickens of a time because he didn't figure out how to work his hooks. But what's really nice about this is it gives you options depending on the size of your meat and how you want to go ahead and prepare it. So you can put game hens in this, believe it or not, turkey breast, big pork chops, steak, pork butt roast, not a huge one, but you kind of get the point. So what I'm going to do is introduce you to the char cup next. This is a little more difficult to clean. This has a smoky smell still. I just use a wool scrubby on it. But anyway, what you're going to do, believe it or not, just put a few wood chips in here. And it's going to take me a bazillion years to use up all the wood chips I have. But it's going to thread through a pipe in here, which I'll show you in a minute, come out the end to exhaust. And it's very effective. There's little smoke holes here too. All right. Now this has 2 arrows that line up. You just simply swivel to get it off of those arrows so they unlock. And then do you see that pipe there, that smoking pipe? You can see that. There's a glare on my camera. When I go to load this char cup, I will thread that back onto that pipe, and the smoke will exhaust out there. All right, I'm going to take that back out, play a little music for you, and let's see what else. I will show you when I go to clean this later, the importance of not immersing this. Okay, so let's reassemble this. I've got some meat chopped up. The char cup. This only takes a few little chips of wood. And I have a stash of hickory, mesquite, pecan, apple. I tend to favor the apple, so I just brought in a few. And it just really only takes a couple for flavor. You want to try to get some that'll go across the smoking pipe but still fit in there. So that one's not going to work unless I kind of give it a little help there. And the heat of that smoking pipe will get those smoking. Another little chip in there of apple. Sometimes I mix my woods. So I'm going to put a little bit of hickory in there. I'm going to actually be smoking a bit of, sorry, it's in a sink. I can't see it at this angle too well. Now, because I'm working with a fatty meat, I would like to protect that wood a little bit better. So I always break off a little square of foil and I lightly cover that. I want the smoke to still exhaust. So let's see here. Now, when you go to use a smoker, you only need a half a cup of liquid. What liquid would that be? Well, for today I'm going to use Bragg's apple cider vinegar. However, you can be creative. You can use apple juice, hard stuff, beer, you name it. And today I'm going to use a half a cup of Bragg's because my barbecue sauce is built on cider. So that'll complement it. This actually makes a nice broth that I will use later. Skim the fat off. Nice smokiness. I save that fat too, that rendered fat. That smokiness is delicious. All right, I'll be right back with some meat. All right, I'm going to put my housing in, my cooking basket, and just take some pieces and line them up. The goal is for smokiness, so I try to just put some in there. I don't mind a little airflow between them. Let's see how many layers I can get in here. See, that's quite sturdy. All right. See, I've got some silver on here. I don't mind. Adds that collagen to the soil. Did I say that? To the broth. All right, I think I can get one more layer in there. Like I said, a good amount of airflow between each piece is good. There's some headroom. All right, that should do for now. I want to make sure my seal and everything is moving. My seal's in place, I should say. Next, I want to make sure that my seal is firmly in place. Nothing blocking some of the mechanisms. They're all moving accordingly. This is a pressure gauge. And then I'm going to line this up with this section right here. That's my little clue. And I'm going to turn this so you can see. There's a little pin here. Watch the action of the pin. Lets me know things are locking correctly. It pops out and it locks again. And I put my weight on. All I have to do is plug this in, and I will set this up over where I'm going to use it to cook. Got a little bit better lighting over here. So I've plugged this in. It's got a separate cord. I plug it into the unit first, then into the outlet, and you'll note it's got a blank screen right now. What I want to do is put it on hot smoke, which will be indicated in a little red light up here. If I press it more than once, it goes to cold smoke. So it's pretty easy to use this. There, hot smoke. I have not used pressure delay or brown and warm feature, but I'm going to put this for 25 minutes, and I will check on that. See if we need a little bit more smokiness. But being they're such small pieces, I think that'll be sufficient. And I'm simply going to press start down here. And here's start. If I need to stop it, I just press it again for stop. Press it again for start. This comes up to pressure pretty quickly too for a pressure cooker. So we will be back. Woohoo! My pressure cooker has finished for 25 minutes. I've got a bowl here to receive hot product. And I've got tongs at the ready. I want to do a little product review. I spent some money on different tongs thinking it would be safer. These were probably $10, but they don't grip the meat well enough. Things slip. And then these cost even more. They were $15, and they resist you. You go to grab the meat and it does slip off those tips quite easily, but this spring action causes hand fatigue because it fights you. It's nice to have it on one hand, but I'll tell you what, the absolute best pair I'm still using came from my mom when she was a young bride. I think she got these at a shopping store, free with a purchase. They are the safest. They could have a longer extension that would make it safer, but these grip the best. And the second runner-up are a cheap pair from Gordon's. They got cute little teeth on them. They just are a little flimsy when you're kind of trying to haul meat, chunks of meat, they buckle. So these are the winners, hands down. Yay! So something you could do to expedite the steaming off process is you can vent, but I try not to do that. The reason why is I think some of the exhaust is part of the flavor, and you exhaust it out into the room, and I like to kind of keep that smokiness right in there with the meat. So I'm going to let this cool down on its own. We'll be back. Do the great reveal here. I've got no more steam wanting to come out, so I'm simply going to turn this and unlock it. And if it was still under pressure, that would not let me do that. So let me show you. See that little silver pin there? It locks and unlocks. So I'm going to lift this up. Always vent this. So whoo-hoo, we don't want to smoke up the camera. I did that last time. And you'll see my silicone ring is getting loose. So I'll have to make sure when I do the next batch that this will be safely secured. Okay, now you'll notice when I put this in there, I did not season this meat. The reason why is I would like options. I'm going to give this a sample. Pretty sure it's done enough. It's very tender. See how easy that is to work with. I can just pull that apart without much effort. Okay, so this gives me options. I think what I'm going to do is take and do a few batches like this, and then the remainder of that butt roast I've put in the oven because my husband bought two, and I forgot we had a situation the other night where we lost power for 3 hours. So I do want to get this all taken care of. This meat was out there in our party fridge. Keeps things in a semi-frozen state, and nobody got into it, but still, I just don't want to take too much of a chance. All right, and I don't know if you remember my little tip when you go to remove the shelf. We're going to tip it down toward the hook that's pointing down. These hooks point up. So watch. Tilt, then just try to finagle it out of there. Voila. Now you'll probably note my half a cup of cider has multiplied at the base. So I don't need that much liquid because it's going to create more liquid with the next batch. So I'm going to remove some of that. And I put that in a little metal bowl similar to this one. And I'll let the fat rise on that. We skim it off and we use that broth for soup. All right, I'll be back. What I would show you, I just simply get in here and skim this. And I put it in a metal bowl. Love these little metal bowls. Try not to get too much steam on the camera. But you only need, at the most, a half a cup of liquid in there. And this is delicious pork broth mixed with apple cider. It's a great bean soup base. All right, I'll be back. Okay, I'm getting ready to restock this. As you'll note, my little protective foil kept some fat from dripping into the char cup. I want to lift that up and check on my chips to see if I need to replace any. We still got some char going on there. Thought maybe this time I would add some of that epazote stem like we did for the corn. Kind of acts as a smudging agent. And I will add another hickory chip. Okay. I'll just reuse my broth down there. I'll replace this on top just lightly. and I will get to building my meat tower. I'll be back. Round 2 of the meat fest. I'll load this up and keep some airflow between. That one's a pretty fatty piece. That's going to be interesting. See how much broth I get out of that. I'm going to add my shelf going in to the next lowest one I can fit it on. Nice and sturdy. Try to place the meat above pieces kind of at a crack where there's more flow. Yeah, we got a nice piece there. I'm going to fit another load in. Hook it. Okay. This one here, can just load away. Oh, it's got a lot of sinew and gristle in it. But like I said, I don't mind that because it breaks down so nice in this pressure cooker. I'm going to crowd this a little bit more. Smaller pieces. But it breaks down and it really makes a great gelatinous broth. Okay. It's important to double check all your parts. And I realigned the silicone so it's tight. You want to make sure all your parts aren't blocked. And line it up over here. Watch that silver pin if it's possible. And we're locked and ready to go. Okay. Take you back through how we do this. I want it on hot smoke. Here's my button. I did this for 25 minutes. That was plenty sufficient. I could probably do less, but I like that smoky flavor. And I'll press start. And there's my button down there indicating. So to come up to temp and pressure, I think being it's already warm, it won't take long. But this is so much more effective than a regular pressure cooker. I'm always surprised that it's done so soon. Alrighty, we'll be back to see what I did with the remains of the other pork butts. One of them is bone-in, and the other was just a lot of sinew, and I just didn't want to deal with too many more loads smoking. So what I will do is I slow roast this and the fat, and I share a lot of this with my husband's family. But I will blend the roasted meat in with the smoked meat for my in-laws, so it's not too smoky a flavor for them. They've never complained, but I know sometimes with certain meds, we don't always have good reactions to food, and belching up smoky food isn't pleasant. So, all right, I'll be back. You guys ever seen a KitchenAid pulverized meat? Some more. Drop this. And this has not been seasoned with any salt or we're going to add barbecue sauce later, but we're going to leave a bit of it plain so we have options. Okay, got a little bit more to go here. It's almost time for Danny and Wanda, our motivation to get it done.